Hello, this is Pete, or Kenshin1913, along with
Mom.
And this is another Cooking with Kenshin1913. What are we making today?
Pralines.
Yep, straight from New Orleans.
Okay, so the star of our show today are pecans or pecans. I guess it depends on which part of the country you come from and what do you call them.
Right.
So what we have done with these is we roasted them in the oven.
At 275 for about 25 minutes.
And you take them out. You don't want them to be overly brown, but when you roast them, it lets all that natural good oil come out of them, so you get more of a taste. The other things that we're using are brown sugar, regular sugar, butter, milk, and vanilla.
Right.
We're going to combine all of these into our saucepan, and we're going to bring it up to a candy number of 238 to 240.
Right.
And what I would suggest, you know, if you're going to be, if you like to make candy, butter crunch, other things like that, lollipops, invest in a candy thermometer. They're different than a regular thermometer, and they don't cost very much at all. I have had this one for years and years and years because I used to make candy lollipops for the kids.
So over here, before we even start, you want to make sure to prepare something, okay? Now, if you don't have a marble or whatever, because that's what we're going to be using, lined with parchment, you're going to want to use a cookie tray with some parchment or something, just because after you're done mixing everything together and you get to the proper temperature, you're going to want to place them down somewhere, and this is where we're going to be placing ours down. So make sure to do that beforehand, because after you get it going, you want to quickly plop it down.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is to add my butter. I'm going to add our milk, our sugar.
Yep. And all the amounts are going to be in the video description. Don't worry. It's basically 1/2 a cup of milk, 1.5 cup of white sugar, 3/4 of a cup of packed brown sugar, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So, anyways, we're going to put all these ingredients together and then start cooking it and get it to 238. 238. Going to stir it. So now, Ma, how do you? I've never used a candy thermometer. What do you do with it? How do you attach it?
Usually, there's some way of an attachment to the side of your pan.
Right.
This one here, you can move it up and down depending on how tall your pan is. So I'm turning the heat on. I'm not actually going to put the thermometer in until all of this just combines.
Right. Yeah, at this point you just want to cook it until everything's congealed and everything's together. Now, we went down to New Orleans back in April this year, in 2018, and we had a great time, and everybody had pralines around all over the place, so you can get all kinds of great candy while you're down there. And we've been making this recipe since we've come up a few times, and we figured we're kind of pros at it now, or sort of. So yeah, you want to just
so you can see it's nice and because of the sugars.
Right. And now, if you don't like pecans, Mom, can you use other nuts?
Oh, absolutely.
Right, yeah, because we did one time where it was almonds and it came out really, really good. Now the thing about this is you really have to make sure that you're doing it how do I explain it? You're making sure that you get it right to the right temperature, because sometimes if you don't, the candy won't set. Sorry that the camera keeps going around. So when exactly do you put in the candy thermometer?
I just want to make sure that the butter is melted. Okay, so our mixture is all combined. And excuse my arm, but I'm going to add our
pralines, or pecans there.
Okay, and then I'm going to put my candy thermometer in.
Yep, and my mom shut off the heat at this point. And as you can see, the candy thermometer here is.
So now you know it's on. And you gotta stir it constantly.
Right.
So your arm might get tired. Because all of that sugar has to totally melt.
Yeah, so it takes a bit, and yeah, so when we went down to New Orleans to go eat this, or not just to eat, but we saw all kinds of sights. There were a lot of people. They made theirs, and they're like, "Oh, these are the original pralines, or these are the best pralines in New Orleans, or whatever." And so what ended up happening was when we came back, or when we were down there, we saw a bunch of people making it, and then they put them on these giant sheets, and they had fans going. It was kind of interesting. Yeah, there's something else.
We have something in the oven.
Right. But yeah, we had a really great time down in New Orleans. If you ever get a chance to go, I'd highly recommend it. You get beignets, you get crawfish, you get all kinds of, you get your pralines, you get what else, Mom? What's the po' boys? You get all kinds of delicious food down there.
Yep.
The cafe.
Shrimp with grits.
The shrimp with grits. Yeah. What was the name of the coffee? The chicory coffee.
Chicory coffee.
Yeah.
Which we actually have some coffee from the
most famous
place down there that makes the beignets.
Cafe du Monde.
Cafe du Monde.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a really good time, and we went to. The reason why we know this recipe at all is because we were down there. We went to a cooking school. We went to a teaching lesson, and they taught us how to make these. And yeah, it was pretty cool. We got like an apron from them and spoons.
They had a store.
Yeah, they had a nice store.
Yeah, one of Pete's favorite utensils for cooking is the wooden spoon.
I'm sure you've seen it in the video, but yeah. So yeah, we just want to keep on constantly stirring. One of the things that they mention is it'll be like a softball. Like when you. Yeah,
if you don't have a candy thermometer, and now I am not an expert in this, but if you have a cup of water and you drop some of this caramel in there, it'll make like a soft ball.
Yeah, like a little soft ball, not an actual soft ball.
The other thing that this is gonna do is it's gonna change in color a little bit.
All right, we're almost at 240, and as you can see, it is really bubbling, and also you can kind of see it's changed color a little bit as well.
And it always, believe it or not, you think it moves very quickly.
Yeah.
To get from one stage to the next sometimes can take quite some time.
Right. Yeah.
Just a few degrees.
Yeah, so it's not really that difficult of a recipe in the essence of the ingredients you need, but it's just the you gotta kind of really pay attention here and keep stirring. And yeah, it's just gonna turn out really good when you make it. It's definitely a gift or a thing that you could definitely do as gifts. Like if you become a pro at making this, you could give this as a gift for the holidays, which is really nice. Because nothing says I love you more than a
something homemade.
Something homemade. Exactly.
Okay, we are at 240.
We've now moved over to our plalloping stage, as I like to call it.
Okay, so I'm gonna take this out of here.
Yeah. So we made the 240, and now we're just gonna dump them on here, and they should. It's gonna take a little while for them to cool, but when they cool, they should get nice and hard. If they're still kind of sticky, then you might have not cooked it long enough. Believe me, we've experienced it. So yeah, this can make like 50 pecans. And as you can see, my mom, she's definitely adding a lot of pecans to it. Or I said pralines. So you can make about 50 pralines with this recipe. But the pecan, what I'm saying is, they really add the pecan. You're really dumping those pecans. Not that there's a problem, to be honest.
Oh.
What?
It got caught in between two.
Yeah, it's alright. So yeah, This is what it should look like when you're all set and done. Keep going up. But yeah, it'll cool. It will cool down. See, the marble naturally it's cool, so it helps cool.
Yeah, down there they use marble.
Yeah.
And then they have, like Pete mentioned, they have these big fans that are on there, even though the place is air conditioned.
Right. Yeah.
The candy shops.
Yeah. So what we're gonna.
If you don't have marble, you could just do it on your pan.
Yeah, cookie sheet.
On a cookie sheet with the parchment paper.
Yeah, with parchment paper. We tried it with the silicone pad. It's not as good, honestly. It's not as good. So yeah.
And they also sell, if you don't, in a lot of different stores, you can buy just a piece of marble.
Right.
That's very nice too when you're cooking and baking.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're, in the market of
looking to get something like that.
Yeah.
Alright, so we'll be back and we'll show you what they look like when they all cool down. So we are back with our pralines here. And as you can see, some of them are different colors than the others. Meaning they've cooled completely, like this one down here. See how it's a little lighter than the other ones that aren't totally cooled yet? So that's what you're looking for. And all, obviously it'll be very easy to pick up like that.
This one can still cool a little
longer,
but as you can see the difference.
Yeah, so as you can see, again, the this one's it turns a little lighter, and then and this one's still a little dark, and it's obviously sticky. So just let them cool. It's gonna take a little while for them to cool because they were so hot. And if you're on the marble, it shouldn't be too long, but patience is a virtue.
Okay, so here are our pralines, and as you can see, some of them I can take right up. We still have a few over here that aren't cool yet. So this is directly on the marble, and I'm not sure if because they have a lot of nuts on them, but we're gonna see this one came right up. So we had a few that we didn't have very many nuts, so I threw a little bit of chocolate on top.
And you can do that. Sure.
So see, all of these are done.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell the difference. See the colors?
Yeah.
So they're still drying out.
Yeah, they're cooling down.
And cooling down.
Yeah. So let's have some. Here are our pralines, as you can see. Got the nice pecans on them. Now which one are you taking? Let's take this one. It's got a lot of nuts on it. You gotta eat one? Or you don't have to. You can get the nice crunchiness of the nut, the sweet, and the vanilla. It's all real good. And again, patience is a virtue here. We didn't wait, but you got it sometimes. But anyways, again, they are really great little dessert candy, and also great as a gift. And they're not bad. You put them in a little bag, and then you send them off to your friends or whatever, unless they have nut allergies. Anyways, I've been Pete, or Kenshin1913, along with
Mom.
And this has been another Cooking with Kenshin1913.
Enjoy and happy eating.